Well, hello, sexy monkeys. Welcome back to Skyaging Experience. I'm Ben. This is my first segment of doing original versus the sequel. And there's a bunch of movies out there that obviously have original and a sequel to it. And a lot of people talk about is the original better than the sequel? And a lot of people think just because it's the original, it automatically is better than the sequel. Not in every case. So this is the first episode of my segment, and down the road I'm gonna do a bunch more, like I said. But this is the first one. Is Top Gun 1986 versus Top Gun Maverick that just came out last week. I've done a review on both of them. If you want to check out my channel, they're out there. It's I think like 4 or 5 videos before this, so it's not that far. You'll find it pretty quick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about elements of the movie, and then I'm gonna figure out which one is better. It's kind of like a checklist. Either this one's better or this one's better, and then at the very end, who has the more checks wins. Pretty simple, right? This is my first time doing, so this might change down the road, but I think it's good for now. So I'm just gonna start with, why am I holding the mouse? Actors. And what I mean by actor is overall the depth of actors, and this was actually really tough. I would actually have to go with the original on this one. So let's kind of go over the actors. The first movie, obviously Tom Cruise. Tim Robbins, he actually does the very small role at the very end. I'm really surprised his name is so high on this list, to be honest. But Val Kilmer, in his prime, it's unbelievable. Anthony Edwards played Juice. Anthony Edwards was really known for playing Dr. Green on ER show, which is one of the best TV shows ever in history. Tom Skerritt plays Viper. Michael Ironside. A lot of people remember him from Starship Troopers. Fuck me. And Total Recall. In his voice. When you hear his voice, you know who he is. Who else? So Clarence Gilliard Jr. Clarence Gilliard Jr. He's a guy that plays on Walker Texas Rangers. He's the black guy. Cool as fuck, funny as fuck. It's good to see him outside Walker Texas Ranger. You got Meg Ryan. A lot of people forget Meg Ryan's in this. That's Goose's wife. And then you got a couple other alpha males like Rick Rosenvich. He's the guy that gets beat up by the Terminator when Sarah Connor, her roommate, she's making that sandwich with a big milk and the headphones on. Her boyfriend, the handsome motherfucker, yeah, this guy, Slider. But that's about. I mean, James Tolkien. You got a few other guys, but that's hard to beat. So now let's talk about the actors on the other movie. So now we're gonna talk about actors from the Maverick, and this was tough because this was really good casting. It really was. So obviously Tom Cruise, but Jennifer Connelly plays the love interest Penny. Miles Teller, Goose's son, great actor. Val Kilmer does come back, and it's not just a photo on the wall. He actually has a scene where he actually talks. So that was really nice. John Hamm, I loved him on The Town with Ben Affleck. They're robbing banks in Boston. I thought he was a fucking great actor. So this guy named Charles Parnell, he has that voice, and I believe he's the voice. If you watch Con Air, at the very opening scene where Nicolas Cage is like about to come home to see Trish Poe, and they do like all the flashback scenes of the war, and there's that voice talking about him being discharged. Pretty sure that's this guy because he has that voice where like, yeah. And they were both Jerry Bruckheimer productions, so I'm betting money. Lewis Pullman, he is Bill Pullman's son. Bill Pullman from Independence Day. He did that famous speech. Jay Ellis, he was on the movie Escape Room. He's that guy, the handsome, rich black guy that survived by killing his friend for the life jacket. He's in this. Glenn Powell, great actor. So you do have a great casting, but I will give the original the edge just a little bit on acting. So first one down is 1986. So the next topic is Maverick himself, his character. Is his character better in the first movie or in this one? And I'm actually going to go with Maverick because his character is he's accomplished. Because in the first movie he was just coming up and coming wild guy, learning the ropes, team player, and all that stuff. But now he is one of the best known pilots in history. So his character definitely is a lot better in this movie. So I'm gonna give it a check to Maverick. So now we're tied at 1-1. Music. All right. So you're thinking, how can the sequel be better than the first movie when it comes to music? Well, I'm gonna give it to the Maverick. Why? Because every single song in Top Gun original is in the Maverick, and some. So you cannot beat that. You have the same exact songs from the first movie in the sequel with more. So you have to give it to Maverick. You have to give it to Maverick. All right. So far Maverick is up 2-1 after the third checklist. Next checklist, cinematography. I'm going straight to Maverick. Why? Because they were actually in the cockpit filming. Granted, the first movie, 1986, you didn't have any actual actors being filmed in the cockpit in the air, flying around. Even if they were flying or just being a passenger, none of that. Because if you watch the original 1986 movie, every time you see them in the cockpit, they're not flying around. This one is all about flying around. They're actually in controls of the cameras too. If you watch the behind the scenes, they talk about Tom Cruise was telling him, "You're actually the DP, director, photographer, while you're in the jet." So it is 100% Maverick. So now they're up. Maverick is up 3-1. Next one, story. Well, the first movie was all about Tom Cruise going to Top Gun and going through the school, and then the very end, that of a battle. This one is Tom Cruise is at the very end of his military career, and Navy doesn't know what to do with him. He doesn't want to be promoted because when he gets promoted, it means you can't fly, because they don't want generals flying. Because what Maverick is doing is he's a test pilot for the Navy. He's trying all these new stuff, so they're not gonna put some high star ranking in there. That's why it's just lieutenants, second, first, and captains. That's why he's just staying at captain, so he can still fly. But back to the story. The story, though, is, at least in Maverick, Tom Cruise's character, Maverick, is teaching Goose's son how to complete a mission. Because in Maverick, all these young pilots, they already complete Top Gun. They're already done with Top Gun. So this isn't another Top Gun school movie. They're beyond that. These are the top 1% pilots of all the pilots that even have passed Top Gun. And they're training to do a mission in about 3 or 4 weeks. And it's a real, like, the story is so much better because you add more depth into the story. It's more, I'm trying to find the right word. There's more at risk. There's more stakes. Because when you actually go, because they're actually going to a foreign country instead of people coming in at them. So the story is definitely going to Maverick. I'm going to Maverick. So they're up 4-1. Next, the climax, the ending. Who has it better? I'm going with Maverick again. Why? Because if you watch behind enemy lines, they add that element in this movie where you thought the movie was about to be done, but then it just kept going further, and it was good. It was good. It wasn't, because there's some movies where they keep going. You're like, oh, stop. They should have stopped. No, this was like, we're gonna keep going, and some. And you're like, oh, okay, I like this. An extra 20 minutes, and the very end of Maverick was one of the most beautiful moments in cinema history. It's just unbelievable. I've never seen so many grown ass men cry. I was so close. I'm just losing my shit crying because it was so emotional seeing all these. It's hard to describe because I don't want to give it away. Just trust me on this. The ending of Maverick and the climax is better than the original. So right now, Maverick is up 5-1. Not looking good. Next one, emotional. How emotional was I from the first movie to the second one? Which one was more emotional? I'm actually going to give this to the original. I am. And the reason why is because when Tom Cruise loses Goose, that was... that's hard to beat. That really is. And that is hard. So original is going to go to emotional. So right now the score is 5-2 Maverick over the original. Um, Next one on the list is a rewatchable. Like, do you, as soon as you watched it, do you want to rewatch it again? I'm giving both the checks. I am. I'm giving both the checks because I know when I watched the Maverick, I immediately want to watch it again. And I know I was the same way with Top Gun. Maybe not as much as Maverick, but there was both really like I need to rewatch both. So I'm giving them both a check. So now the score is 6-3 Maverick over the original. Next, homoerotic scene, the masculine scene. So you have the volleyball scene in the original movie, and then you have a football scene, both on the beach. Which one's better? The original, hands down. I'm not even gonna argue this one. The original one, so much better. The sport itself, volleyball is better than the football. I mean, they're not. I'll play on both. I would have fun with both. But let's do volleyball. It feels better. It's more organized. It's easier to watch, and the music is so much better during that scene in the original. So much better.
That's game.
So the score now is 6-4 Maverick over original. Next, love interest. Was the love interest in the first movie better than the love interest in the second movie? And hands down, the original gets this one. Why? Because it felt needed in the first movie. The second movie, the sequel, it didn't felt needed. Like if you took all that love interest out, this movie would still been great. But if you took the love interest out of the original movie, since she was even the instructor, that would have made it way different. Way different, because that really helps that he got the girl at the very end when she in the original movie when he was just about to leave the bar and then he hears the song play. He's like, "Oh, that song, that has to be her," and there she is. She's right behind him. Yeah, so much better, so much better. So, originals haven't come back. 6-5 Maverick or the original, and I got two more left. So let's get this down. Stunts. Which stunts were better? And I'm going with Maverick. I am going with Maverick. Why? Because you actually see them do a shit ton more, and you see them do it actually with the actors in the plane. It's just that simple. I watched the scene where actual Top Gun instructors watched it and they had their 2 cents about it, and they're just saying like it's just the stunts and what they were doing 90 to 95% of that they've all done it before, and you see it in the movie compared to original. You do have moments, but it's not anything close to the Maverick. So the Maverick is up 7-5 and there's one left, so we don't know the math there. So the last one is the enemy. Who had the most dangerous enemy? Because your hero, the bigger your villain is, the bigger your hero is when they overcome that, if that makes sense. Because if you have a really low villain, it doesn't make your character that much shinier. But the higher that enemy is, the better your main character is going to be. And I have to go with Maverick on this. And the reason why is because in the first movie, they just kind of come out of nowhere. And you really don't know what's going on. It's just kind of like just thrown out there. But in the Maverick, the whole story is around them training to go take out these enemy people. And the stakes are incredibly high. You have more jets. You're on their territory. You have SAM's missiles, which are the rockets that take down the jets. The stakes are incredibly higher. You're over land, which means you're going to get caught, and you're going, if they don't kill you, you're a POW. Compared to the original movie, you're in the water, you can still eject, be in the water. You're not in enemy territory. So I have to go with Maverick on this, which means Maverick overall wins 8-5, which means Maverick is better than the original. First segment and the sequel takes down the original, which I already could tell you is not going to happen often. When I do say like 10 of these segments, I bet you 2 or 3 might be better than original, and this is one of them. And I have no shame in being honest with you. I have nothing against the original. I absolutely love the original. I was born in 1990, so it doesn't give me that much nostalgia feeling, but it's incredible. I watched that before Maverick and after Maverick, and it holds up just fine. It's incredible. This was tough, but I'm telling you guys, if you have not seen Maverick, go watch it because it's unbelievable. It's right up there with the Batman and the Northman for this year, 2022 best movies, hands down, not even a question. It'll probably win the cinematography of the year, something. Um, all right, sexy monkeys. I don't know what I'm gonna do next for my next segment when it comes to original versus sequel. I'm thinking Halloween, Friday 13, do that route. But yeah, all right, sexy monkeys. I'm curious what you guys have to say. I'm curious who thinks which one's better. I would love to hear, and I'd love to hear why. All right, sexy monkeys. I'll see you later.